Alright, so this Patreon request comes from James Finnegan, who asked me to do a top 10 favorite episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I wanted to wait on this Patreon request because I wanted to wait till the release date of the show, of the live-action show, which, as of this recording, I haven't seen yet. I don't even know if I'll do a review of it because, like, real quick, my attention span bothered, and it also, like, to dedicate an entire day of watching a single thing, it's so hard for me to binge watch something because, like, my attention span makes me go, I should be doing something else or something of that nature. So I haven't watched the show yet as of this recording, and I'm also going to wait and see what reactions are because I haven't seen anything major yet. But yeah, now as always with these top 10 episodes, this is just my personal opinion. If you think a episode should be higher or lower on the list, that's totally fine. I'm always excited to hear what you guys' favorite episodes are. And also, do you know how goddamn hard this was? Seriously. Do you know how hard it was just to level down 10 favorite episodes? The show is one of the most critically acclaimed animated series and shows in general. And do you know how hard it was to list off 10? I think I only had one episode from Season 1. Not because Season 1's bad, it's because Season 2 and 3 had a lot of great episodes I loved. And I had to cut out episodes from Season 1 I really liked. So, yeah. It's a really fucking good show in case you aren't aware if you live under a fucking rock. So yeah, it's just my personal opinion. So we're going to go through my top 10 list. And again, just my personal opinion, and I'm always excited to hear yours. So, let's start off with number 10, the beach. Yes, we're starting off with the beach. Why the beach? Well, if you're an anime or pretending to be an anime, anime law dictates that you must have a beach episode. There you go. Also, it's such a nice filler, and it's kind of a nice character piece for Azula, as well as Mei and Ty Lee, even though they don't get a lot. It's a lot of fun. It's a great, like, stop and take a breather episode, while at the same time, the gang is just getting, blasted. Oof, that sounded wrong. Just getting blasted by this, by the three-eye bounty hunter that Zuko hired. It's a nice juxtaposition between the two. I truly think this is a nice stop and take a breather episode. And yes, Season 3 does have one or two of those, but this is one more of a character piece than anything else. And I think also the jokes really hit. Yeah. So there you go. Now we move on to number 9. Number 9 is The Southern Raiders. The Southern Raiders is such a dark episode, and it is basically Zuko's loyalty mission. If you're a Mass Effect fan, then you know what I'm talking about. It's basically Zuko's loyalty mission to Katara. Like, he had one with Sokka. He had one with Sokka and Aang. He never had one with Toph, but Toph already got the loyalty, I guess. But yeah, so this basically showcases how powerful Katara is, as well as we see the backstory of how she and Sokka lost their mother, excuse me. And it's brutal. It hits hard. And also, can we just say, like, when Katara stopped the rain and just made fucking weapons out of them, there's such a oh fuck face on Zuko, that it's like, oh my god, I am so scared right now. There's also that moment where she blood bent in front of him, and I'm sure he's thinking, because he's never seen this, he doesn't even know what blood bending is, and he's just probably thinking, oh my god, I am so scared, like, I think I peed a little. There's such a face on him that says, I think I peed a little. But it is such a dark episode, and I think arguably Katara's best episode, because it's the whole thing of, like, it takes the whole thing of forgiving your enemy and moving on, because it's like, it takes it on its head, because Katara's like, I didn't forgive that guy, like, I will never forgive him, but now I can, like, lay that to bed and move on, because I have other things in my life, rather than just let this eat at me. So, yeah. Something I think Steven Universe should have taken a note from. Just saying. Anyway, so let's move on now to the next episode, The Puppet Master. This is by far a scary as shit episode. I think we can all agree that this episode gave us the heebie-jeebies. I think I watched this late at night, like it was a rerun, and I was just up late at like 1 in the morning, just on TV, and it was just playing a rerun of it on, I think, the Nicktoons network. You guys remember that? And it was basically just that monologue that Katara gives of that scary story about her mom, I can't remember if it was mom or grand's friend, and it's so, like, creepy. It gets you in the right mood. And Trace McNeil does a great job as Hama. I think, and that whole story, it's a horror show, and it showcases that bloodbending is horrifying. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I really liked it. Next up, Appa's Lost Days. Oh boy, this one will emotionally beat you down, and there's a few episodes that will, like, emotionally beat you down, but I think this one is up there in terms of emotional ass kicking, because we see poor Appa just get wrecked the entire episode. He is getting wrecked, and it is until he sees, like, Suki and, Guru Patik that he finally finds some kindness. Also, that fight between the Kyoshi Warriors and Azula's group, that's probably one of my favorite fights. That Suki-Azula fight, it's awesome. I really enjoyed it. It's a nice episode. I've also, real quick, I can't remember where the author, but I remember reading a fanfiction long ago of, like, a what-if story, and it was like, what if Ty Lee was at... Because it's the same circus Ty Lee worked at before Azula got her, came and got her. So basically, it's like a what if Ty Lee was still there when Appa was captured. And it's a nice little story. It's a nice, like, Ty Lee bonding with Appa, and it's a very cute story. I can't remember the name of it or the writer, but, like, all I remember is the story. You ever have that? Anyway, moving on. Next up, we have The Chase. The Chase is a great, chase episode. It ends in basically a Western, Mexican stand. It basically ends in a Mexican standoff with Azula, Aang, and Zuko, and the three of them just fight it out. The whole showcase of the machine chasing everyone is great. I also really love those little moments, like especially between Iroh and Toph. I love that little moment between them. Not to mention, Katara is just vicious. I think we forget that not only is she a great waterbender and a very powerful one, but also, like, she's vicious with that mouth. Like, especially, like, oh, the stars are beautiful out tonight. Too bad you can't see them, Toph. I'm like, damn, bitch! The first time I heard, like, the first time I watched this episode and saw that, I was like, damn, bitch! Ooh! Yeah. So, god damn. Anyway, so, yeah. Next up, we have Tales from Bossing say, you know why it's here. You know why. Did you really think I wasn't going to have this episode in a top 10? No one in their right mind would not have this episode in their top 10 list. Unless, for a really good reason, which you can't think of. So, yeah, you know why it's here. I know why it's here. For the Tale of Iroh. But I would be remiss to say that the other... I think, yes, the main focus is Iroh's story, and that's the GOAT. But, like, I think a lot of people forget how good the other stories are. Is Aang's story great? No. And that's why it's kind of lower on the list, is because some of the other stories are just kind of like Aang's. But Zuko's, Toph and Katara's is also really good. I also like Momo's. Sokka's pretty funny. Like, they needed some levity in there. Because Sokka spit some bars. That rap battle he was doing, I'm like, this is some 8 Mile shit right now. Anyway. So yeah, but again, we all know why it's on this list, right? We do? Okay, good. Moving on. Next up, probably the only Season 1 episode in like I said earlier, it was so hard to make this list, and I'm so and like this was the only episode, and I also forgot to mention that two-parters are like parts would all be considered into one episode, and that's the case here with Siege of the North. It is like there has never been a bad season finale in all three of Avatar, in all three seasons of Avatar: The Last Airbender. It is just one banger after another, and this was the first example of that. The Siege of the North is a great, like, almost like Game of Thrones, like good Game of Thrones level battle between the Fire Nation and the Northern Water Tribe, and it's a great battle between Zuko and Katara. It's a great story of sacrifice and the cost of victory. It is a beautiful story, and it ends in heartbreak for Sokka. It's a great character building for Sokka, and it's a great story for how it all builds to the next season. It's fantastic, and also we get more like it's cool to see Yue's sacrifice is like this show, like Yue's sacrifice kind of showcased to everyone, oh my god, someone could get killed, like a major character could get killed. Wow. And yes, she was a side character, but still, in her short time she was on screen, she left a massive impression for that. And she did it not for like, and what I like is that, yes, it did kind of play into Sokka's deconstruction of his sexism, and the ending of that, which that's another thing for the show, that the live action show that, like, I'm not going to talk about. We're talking about the animated show right now. It's a great showcase of, like, that Yue was willing to die for her people and not for just Sokka. Like, that's the thing. Like, you would think, oh, I love Sokka, I'm going to die for him. No, it's like, it's my duty as princess and, like, you know, to my countrymen and for the whole world. The whole world needs the fucking moon, too. So, I will take the L here and become a god. So, bye. I'm joking, of course, but it's a really sad moment. I teared up the first time I watched it, and I still get teared up when I watch it. Also, I don't know what it is. Real quick before we move on to the top three, but like, also I just realized, the next two are all kind of have a rolling connection. I will get to that in a minute, but like. There's a moment in Siege of the North where Zhao has the moon spirit in his grasp, and he basically is like ready to kill it, and like Iroh is just screaming at. I don't know why I love that. It's probably just some great voice acting from Mako, but like when he screams like, "You touch that, you hurt that spirit, and I will unleash tenfold on you. Let it go now!" I don't know, like, I just love that, like, just all that great, like, Iroh, for the most part, has been, like, a calm and caring character, but the moment, you know, he sees that spirit in danger, he knows, like, it's just you see the Dragon of the West in his eyes. It's a small moment, but I love it. And then Iroh just goes nuts. Yeah. Yeah, so there you go. Moving on to number 3, and you're going to see a rolling pattern, a moving pattern here. Number 3 is The Crossroads of Destiny, the Season 2 finale. The Crossroads of Destiny is a fantastic way to end. It's the Empire Strikes Back ending, really. If Season 1 was the New Hope ending for Avatar, this is the Empire Strikes Back ending. The Earth Kingdom falls, Zuko has turned back to the dark side, essentially, and Aang is in a coma. And it's bad. It's so bad, guys. It's so bad. That fight between those fights are amazing. Character moments, especially between Aang and Iroh, is awesome. It's a great way to end season 2 and kind of show, and like, it's what we've been building to. And it's such a downer note that even like the first time you watch it, you're like, nah, there's no way that ends like that, right? Like, there's another episode, right? This is totally gonna fix, right? Right, we're gonna fix this, right? Right? So yeah, there you go. Number 2, Sozin's Comet. Yep. I didn't realize that till I did this, until I looked at the list. I was like, huh, would you look at that? So, Sozin's Comet is the series finale. It's probably one of the best finales in not just cartoon history, but like TV history. The culmination of everything this series has been building to is brought to a head. It's stunning. It's amazing. That Aang and Ozai fight is awesome. Everything with Toph and Sokka and Suki dealing with the airships, epic. Zuko's final face-off with Azula, perfect. It's all around just epic. It is an epic finale to the series, and it is a chef's kiss in animation history, too. Lovely. So you're probably thinking, well, what's number one? Well, what could be number one? Hear me out. It's not... It's The Great Divide. I'm just kidding with you. No one fucking likes that episode. It's Day of Black Sun. Day of Black Sun for me is very much like an Empire Strikes Back episode ending, but it is just nothing short of a great story. It's a great Siege of the Fire Nation. It showcases Azula's just absolute manipulation. It's a great story of where these characters are now and where they have been before. Like, it's that kind of moment where it's like, we're not kids anymore. We're soldiers fighting in a war, and if we don't win, it is just widespread death and destruction if we don't do this. So, and it's also a great like Avengers level thing where it's like you have all the side characters show up for, you know, this great moment. It's a lot of fun. I really love this episode. And again, the thing about this show, like the big thing about this show is that this series this series, any one of these episodes could be my number one. Like I said, just because I'd only had one episode of season 1 in here doesn't mean I didn't hate season 1. It's just there were a lot of great episodes, and this list racked my brain to pick out which ones I wanted. So I could do this list again in like a year or so, and it might be even a totally different list once I rewatch the series. Yeah. So, yeah, there you go, guys. That is pretty much my top 10 episode list of Avatar: The Last Airbender. You guys tell me in the comments below. What are your top 10 episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender? Comment below, let me know and let me know. Once again, just because this is my list doesn't mean it's definitive. I'm always excited to hear what yours are. And once again, I'd like to thank James Finnegan for this Patreon request. If you'd like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below. Head on over to my Patreon. Hit the third tier. That'll allow you access to do videos for me to do here on YouTube. But other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.